Good afternoon, everyone. Hope the weekend was good to you. Hope you earned some dividends. It was a good weekend, I think. There was a lot of high-scoring matches. A lot of big players performed. So yeah, hope we had a good weekend with all that stuff. So just going to dive into the video today. I'm pretty gutted I never put the effort in to get this out on Friday, because as you'll see, one or two of the players we're going to be talking about had a great weekend, and it would have been nice to put them out there for you before they popped again. But anyway, we'll just get stuck right into it. So, top 10 strikers for summer transfers. The first one we're going to be coming to is our boy Steve Bergwijn. Okay, now Bergwijn is an attacking winger, plays for PSV. You've probably maybe heard of him. He's not hit the same levels of popularity as guys like Felix and whatever, but he's certainly been having a great season for PSV this year. As you can see from his stats, 29 starts in the league, 13 goals, 12 assists. The shots per game and dribbles per game are absolutely massive, and he's one of these other guys as well who's starting to break into the Dutch team, and the Dutch team are really having a bit of a renaissance on the go there now, with some of the players that are coming through, with Van Dijk and De Ligt and De Jong, and you know, all these types of guys, Bergwijn, Dumfries, the guys we spoke about. So he's another one to be keeping an eye on ahead of the Nations League as well. If you drill right into it, you can see he's equally as effective really on the left as he is on the right. You know, he's played left forward, 16 games, 7 goals, 7 assists, and then on the right, 15 games, 6 goals, 5 assists, you know, and the ratings are 7.9 and 7.8. So I've got a crack on my screen. So he's equally adept on both wings, and things like this, guys, when I'm showing you this, he can play multiple positions. There's been midfielders and defenders that have probably ticked this box as well, but that's what really appeals to the modern manager, is a versatile player who's just as effective in a number of positions, you know. Look at his characteristics and you can see it's typical Dutch attacker, you know, passing, finishing, dribbling, through balls. Weaknesses, some of the things that some teams might not fancy too much: defensive contribution, doesn't do much in the air, and in terms of his style, you know, robbing basically. And then this is what I wanted to show you. So the Nations League game they had against France, really big game. He's played 85 minutes and contributed well in that match. And in the last two games for Holland, he's played a full 90 and then a 45 in a friendly against Germany. Or was Germany, actually might have been in our Nations League game, I think it was. You know, so he's definitely right bang in there in the Dutch national team. Now you can see at the top here, he's listed as a midfielder, he's a winger. In terms of football index, he's on a forward. If you're thinking about match day dividends, defender, midfielder, forward, he's down as a forward, okay, which is why he's in this list with us today. The next boy is also at PSV, is Hirving Lozano, one of the standout players of the World Cup. I was pretty surprised he stayed at PSV this year. He's really well known in the game. If you don't know who Lozano is, you also didn't watch the World Cup, because he was a big name, scored a big goal for Mexico. Mexico did pretty well themselves. If you look at PSV overall, Bergwijn and Hirving Lozano are definitely standout players there. Obviously Luka Jovic get a higher rating, but with you know, was it Luka Jovic that went to Spurs and failed? Was it De Jong? I don't know. Oh no, he went to Newcastle, didn't he? Yeah, so with that we can take him out of the equation. Having failed in the Premier League before, it's unlikely he's going to really get much of the plaudits. And then we've got Denzel in the top 5 as well. And then number 4, by the way, so we want to keep your eye on Angelino. He's a Man City youth product who PSV bought in the summer. So he's somebody maybe keep a wee eye on. But we're looking at Lozano and Champions League this year. 6 games, 2 goals, 1 assist. And that was a really tough group. That was PSV, Inter Milan, Barcelona and Spurs, you know. So that's not anything to be sniffed at, you know. And in the World Cup, 4 games for Mexico, 1 goal, 1 assist. And look at his stats in the World Cup, you know. He was just running the show. He was a star player for them. And then in the league, not quite as impressive as Bergwijn. 28 games, 17 goals, 7 assists, and then the stats again per match: tackles, shots, dribbles, really, really high, which is great. Pretty much as versatile as Bergwijn, left and right. You know, it's quite a good split between the goals and assists. Obviously, favours been on that right side. And if we look at who's been linked to the pair of them, with Bergwijn, it's mainly Arsenal, Inter Milan, a wee bit of Spurs, Man United, a wee bit of Spurs again, and a wee bit of Bayern and Napoli at the bottom. With Lozano, it's Man United, Man United, Man United. A wee bit of Napoli there as well. The next boy we come to is Memphis Depay, who you will be fully familiar with. He's quite a well-known name, obviously, in the world of football. Trading it out 144. Now, interesting thing about Depay, and I'm going to come on and talk about another player that fits in this category quite shortly. He's had a bit of a bust-up with the club, so he's been dropped, and it's quite strong feeling that this will probably be his last summer anyway. He's been in Lyon for 2 or 3 seasons. He's re-established his reputation after flopping at Man United, you know, so he fancies himself probably to go and make a bigger move this summer. So as you can see, he's having a pretty solid season. And take a look at the names here. These are the ones that I remember: Marcelo, Fekir, Depay, and Ferland Mendy. Okay, but if we're drilling right into Depay, Champions League okay. Lyon's group, I can't remember who it was. I know they get through their group in the end. I don't think their group was actually that difficult overall, but they got through, and Barcelona knocked him out in the last round. Overall, he's having a decent enough season. It's not as good as he was last year. And then we come on to Fekir. Okay, now Fekir, again, you'll be aware of, he was linked to Liverpool. And I think he was on the verge of signing for Liverpool this summer before the World Cup. Also won the World Cup with France, you know, and he was somebody who got a lot of media attention last summer, and he's somebody to definitely be keeping your eye on. This season, again, he's not did as well as last season, but he's still really solid, shots per game and everything else in the league. 20 games, 9 goals, 5 assists, and Champions League did pretty well as well. And this is what we're chatting about here. So Fekir comes to blows with centre-back Marcelo, while Depay also had a physical confrontation with left-back Ferland Mendy. So that's 4 of their top 5 players this season are all having altercations with each other. So that is going to result in people leaving. Ferland Mendy is definitely going to get linked to clubs as well. He can play left back or centre mid. Marcelo came from Besiktas, I want to say, big Brazilian centre half, and he's been doing okay. But between the 4 of them, all 4 of them could leave. But if you're thinking about index, Fekir and Depay are definitely going to get the most media attention. And with Fekir being a World Cup winner and Depay having the Nations League this summer, former Man United number 7, they're just a much more attractive holds to have in the index in terms of what we're talking about, what we're looking at. Okay, so Depay, who's he linked with? Man United's mentioned a lot there, it's mainly because also he used to play for them. But the main links Depay's been getting is Liverpool. And was there anyone else? No, it's Fekir, isn't it? So mainly Liverpool, and then Fekir is looking at Liverpool again, Chelsea, and then if you look at the bottom, was it this page? It must be another page. Yeah, Zidane and Real Madrid. So similar types of clubs, just depends who goes first and who's got the best offer. And Lyon are known strong negotiators, so they will drag this out, they will make it a saga, and they'll get every shilling, nickel and dime they can for these guys, you know. Julian Brandt is the next one we'll have a chat about. Now, Brandt is listed on this as a forward, okay. He predominantly does play midfield, okay, so he goes in the forwards list for us. Nice rise over the last couple of months. The big rise you see there is when the news became reported that he's got a buyout clause if they don't make the Champions League, which we'll come to in a second. But in the league, you know, Julian Brandt famously kept Sané out the World Cup squad, so he's obviously well thought of in Germany. He's a bit of a talent in the age of 22. 10 goals, 10 assists, 4 goals, and 25 starts is not a bad return at all. But when you drill right into it, from centre mid, 14 games, 3 goals, 7 assists. He likes to be in the middle of the pitch, you know. But when you look at this type of thing, he's probably not best suited Premier League wise to the centre of the pitch if he's not really good at tackling. This kind of looks like a Mesut Ozil if you think about him in the middle of the park. The things Mesut Ozil gets dug up about in the press. You know, he's good at passing, concentration, key passing, through balls, crosses, dribbling. But in terms of his weaknesses, you know, very weak at tackling. You know, it's something that some Premier League clubs might be put off about. But for his price, he's got a lot of suitors. So Liverpool, Real Madrid, Man United, and then we have Juventus. We have, I'm pretty sure Bayern Munich were kicking a bit there as well when I was looking at this. But for the price he's going to be going for, and you can see it here, Brandt is available for a bargain, £21.6 million if they don't qualify for the Champions League. Okay, so he's almost certainly going to transfer if Leverkusen don't make that top 4 position. Which I don't think actually, yeah, they're not looking to get anywhere near Champions League. They might still make Europe, which is what Havertz is hanging on for, but he's got a buyout clause for Champions League. This is what it's telling us, so he could easily be moving to one of a number of clubs for that price. He's so attractive. Now, I've got to make an apology. Felix is in the top 10 forwards, right? I realised this when I was making the list, and then it was just a clerical error that I didn't put him in the midfielder category, because he is on the index as a midfielder, which even though he's been playing centre forward. I'm not going to talk too much about Felix. If you don't know who he is, get your head out the sand and find out, because he's one of the most popular players in the world right now. Everyone's talking about him. Who's he linked with? Man United, Man City, Real Madrid. Felix, he's just the wonder kid for now, you know. There's going to be big money. That's his buyout clause is 105 million. So again, if a team's going to be paying that, it's going to be big news. It's going to be a saga. You know, once one club activates the minimum fee, I think the other ones will just jump in and go, we can't miss out on him. So you can expect that. And again, with the Nations League, I expect him to be in the Portugal team. He's already been in the Portugal national team already. So again, that's another stage for him to perform on and enhance his reputation further. The next one we come to, and this is one we're disappointed about not doing the video about on Friday. Nicolas Pepe had a great weekend and he shot up massively from 197. I seen him out on Friday. I was close to buying him, close to doing the video, and I was thinking, oh, maybe I should just put a couple of quid on there now, but I thought, nah, chances are PSG will beat Lille. His price isn't going to go anywhere. How wrong was I? You know, Lille robbed them, mobbed them. Did really well, so fair play to the guy. He's still got a ceiling. He's not got back up to that £2.40-ish mark, you know, so he's still got some pre-established room to grow into before the market takes him any further beyond that, which is nice. He's a winger from the Ivory Coast, 23, so 32 games, 19 goals, 11 assists. Look at his stats, shots and dribbles per game. The guy is a busy winger. Who's he linked with? Everyone. Bayern Munich, Paris Saint-Germain, Arsenal, Man United. I'm pretty sure Real Madrid are in here as well somewhere. So is Chelsea to replace Hazard. Sorry. And then the next one we come on to is David Neres. David Neres, I bought like 3 of them in January because I listened to a lot of radios, you know, and I know he was very close to leaving in the summer there. But Ajax only bought him the preceding January, you know, so he'd only been there a couple of months. Ajax wanted to hold on to him. And now with the exploits they've had in the Champions League, he's close to being a relative household name for the everyday football fan, you know. So the chances of him staying in the Eredivisie with Ajax for another season is, I'm going to say, slim to none after being there 18 months. 19 starts, 8 goals, 8 assists, pretty decent. 22, first full season in European football. And then you look at his characteristics. If you've seen him in the Champions League, you'll know what he's about. He's a quick, pacey finisher on the wing. Who's linked to him? Liverpool, Dortmund, Liverpool, Arsenal, Everton. You know, so a good clutch of clubs. You know, it was Real Madrid was the link I heard last summer. Don't think that'll quite be the case now. I don't know why, but there's just no Real Madrid talk here. So Real Madrid, just because of all the stuff they've got with Marca and, you know, the ties they've got to the Spanish press, when they're linked to someone, it's normally not a secret. So I wouldn't see that as being too likely at this point. But a Premier League move is certainly possible. Neres and Richarlison for Everton, that could be a great combo. Luka Jovic, have a guess. If you don't know who Luka Jovic is, get your head out the sand, go find out. Okay, I'm not going to labour the point about this guy too much. Now, he might be in a great position now. If Benfica knock out Frankfurt, his price might take a little bit of a dip, and it could be a good chance to buy him. But as you can see on the graph here, he's on a nice little level out, and that's when I always encourage you to buy players, when they're not going through big spikes and drops, when you know they're kind of levelling out. Now, that level out come Thursday might move up or down. It depends what happens. If you think Frankfurt can turn it around, this will be a great chance to buy him like the now. At 245. If you think Benfica are going to knock them out, then you can maybe hang on to, you know, maybe the 90 minutes blows and they're knocked out. There'll be an initial dumpage, you know, people getting rid of them. So there's opportunities there. Depends on what your point of view is on the fixture and if you think Frankfurt can turn it around. Who's linked to him? Real Madrid, Barcelona, Tom, Dick, Harry, Chelsea, Man United, Arsenal, Man City. Everyone is linked to him. That will be a saga that will go on this summer. And then the last one we come to is Thorgan Hazard. Okay, now I'm going to finish off the video by showing you the big list I had. Okay, there's a few people that I've not done on this. Okay, and it's mainly because I'm thinking potentially bargains. Okay, so at £1.60 you can see he's on a big slide now, and I think that's mainly because of a few things. But the main one being, it sounds like he's going to be going to Dortmund. Okay, which won't be bad for him because he's very talented. He's been scoring lots of goals, making plenty of assists this whole time in the Bundesliga since Chelsea sold him. But there is also the possibility that, you know, the deal's not done. He could go to the Premier League, somebody like Liverpool, maybe even Chelsea, you know, replace one Hazard with another. The transfer ban doesn't get signed off for this window. There is a few clubs that could go and get him, you know, and for somebody who's on this kind of curvage, if a Premier League team comes in out of nowhere, like Spurs or something as well, you know, you could be onto a real bargain there, getting ahead of people, you know. So it's just something to keep your ear to the ground with and just be aware of. Okay, I think he's the last. Yeah, he is. Okay, so I'm just going to show you the lists that we did for all the top 10s. Okay, so at the bottom, De Ligt, I was never going to add him into the list because I do believe that his transfer will be done as soon as Ajax leave the Champions League this year. And Ruben Diaz, I added him in retrospectively because I just forgot all about him, and then he went and scored that night, which was funny. Fraser, we didn't add him into the video because we'd kind of spoke about him once or twice in previous videos. And then with this, I put Hazards. I'm not talking about Eden Hazard in the video for a top 10 because, again, I think his transfer is going to be wrapped up quite soon. And then with Mane and Sancho, I'm just not really convinced that they'll leave this summer, you know. So again, speculation does go a long way in Football Index. You don't actually have to leave for your strategy to go through, I suppose. But I just didn't want to put them in the video. I thought it'd be wasted there. But I thought I'd just show you the list, guys, in case you ever want to refer back to who we spoke about without having to drag yourself through all the videos, because they're all fairly long, 15 minutes or so each, okay? If you've enjoyed the series, guys, top 10s for the summer ahead, please give us a like. If you're new around here, subscribe to the channel, all that stuff. Please comment below. Anyone who you think I've missed out, if I missed something obvious, I'm a human, that does happen. Drop a comment below. Interact, guys. Stay out of trouble, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.